Welcome everyone to JCTV Mid-Missouri Art News. I'm your host, Rick Jey. Mid-Missouri Art News, supported by many artists throughout Missouri and neighboring states, as far as to New Jersey. We have had a guest on from New Jersey. Also sponsored naturally by Jefferson City JCTV. We're coming to you from the capital city of Jefferson City, Missouri, on a spring day that we're trying to ease into. I have two special guests again today. Artist Cheryl Schweitzer of Jefferson City, Missouri. She's a member and vice president of the Jefferson City Art Club, which is now 114 years old. So we welcome Cheryl. She'll give us a lot of the scoop of what's going on in her art world and also with the Jefferson City Art Club. And also I'm proud to say that we have an invited guest, artist Leann Porello of California, Missouri. She's the spokesperson today and director of the Capital Arts Gallery, and she has more titles, which we'll get into. Both play a very large role in the art scene in the state of Missouri. So I want to, if you will, join me in welcoming artist Cheryl Schweitzer of Jefferson City, Missouri.
Hi, Jerry.
Nice to have you with us,
Thank
Cheryl.
you.
Look, I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. Well, please tell us a little bit, if you can, about you and those highlights of your life that best describe Cheryl Schweitzer.
Well, I guess I've been an artist all my life, pretty much. I just remember as a kid being crazy about coloring and painting with watercolors and getting those new crayons and that type of thing, and that was always really exciting for me. My parents just did all they could to, give those to me and make sure I had plenty of paper and like I said, crayons and watercolors, anything that I wanted to use as I was growing up. And my other family, my husband and children have all been very supportive through the years as well. So,
sounds like, yeah.
And my mother had artistic gene too. She always supported my artistic endeavors because she was also an artist. She found out later that when I started painting in high school, she learned how to paint and took off from there. And so sometimes we painted together, and we learned together in that aspect. And she did a lot of other different woodworking and those type of things, but I didn't get that gene, I guess. But now, both my daughters have some artistic capabilities, and some of my nephews too. So it's in the family, and it's good to see that going on, down the generations. So
it's great that the family is supportive, and you support the family now. You carry it on, and you speak highly of your mother. And your artwork speaks for itself.
Well,
some of that will be shared. Did you want to say hi? Can I be the one to put it out there on the table that Cheryl is going to be a grandmother?
Yes, for the first time.
For the first time. So
it's very exciting.
Give a shout out to family if you wish.
Well, that's thanks to Robin and Blake, my daughter and son-in-law, and they're due in May, and so we'll get to see hopefully another artist bloom here before too long.
Oh,
so.
Excellent. I'm sure you'll have a little bit to do with that
yes,
at some
definitely.
point. Well, great. And we, Mid-Missouri Art News, send congratulations. So we look forward to that coming event coming up. Well, now let's get into kind of a nitty-gritty question. Can you share with us your favorite mediums and subject matter when working on a project?
My favorite mediums for right now mostly are acrylic paints. I discovered those several years ago when I was working in one of my basement studios in a house in Chicago, and there was almost no ventilation in there, and so it kind of got to be pretty stuffy and probably not too safe either. So my mother got me a set of acrylic paints one year for Christmas, and I loved them, and there's almost no odor to those and no solvents that you have to use, and I just ended up really learning how to use those and make them do what I wanted them to do, and through the years, and it's been really good to have that. And I do still occasionally go back to oil paints and watercolors, just depending on the subject, especially oils, since they blend so easily and everything. They're easy to use in that way. And I do have some good oil paintings that I've really enjoyed having and doing. But for the most part, it's acrylic paints, and the subject matter that most excites me is probably nature and light. The light usually catches my eye first, and I also dabble in photography, and so I take tons of photos and use those later as reference photos. But there's an interesting aspect to that I just like to note, is that I may start out with a photo or a group of photos with one painting that I'm using. I use the reference photo for, a creek, and another one for the rocks or whatever. But eventually, the photos are left laying somewhere and forgotten, and I have found myself painting intuitively, where I've just forgotten the photos completely and just moved on to, it's some kind of magic that happens. I don't know.
Exactly.
I hope it happens anyway. I pray every time I start a painting that I can find that magic. But I do start out with photos, but eventually those just don't even mean anything anymore, where I'm just getting to paint.
So the right side of the brain takes over.
Something happens there. Now, definitely, I get in the zone.
Yes, and we as an artist, we try to capture light, especially in landscaping. Well, any still lifes, we have to capture the light at certain angles. And Cheryl's she has a handle on light, so look forward to some of those paintings that we'll be putting up during our interview. And also we have a couple venues that Cheryl is taking part in. Do you have any projects now in process or at a venue for showing and viewing that you'd like to share?
Well, I do have. First of all, I have 22 paintings on display in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, which is where I'm from.
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of nice to be able to go back and where it all started and have an actual exhibition there. And it's at the First United Methodist Church there in Poplar Bluff. And then I'll also have some artwork at the Mid-Missouri Art News show at the Runge Conservation Center that's coming up May through June. And I also have my website has quite a bit of art on it. Not everything that I've ever done, because we probably don't want to go back that far, but definitely at www.cschweitzer.com is my website.
Oh, super. Great. Well, let's go to another area. Cheryl has a lot of years invested in the Jefferson City Art Club, and I was inspired when I joined by Cheryl and her friendship, companionship, her artistic ways, making you feel welcome. So, Cheryl, you're now at one time you served as president, but now you're serving as vice president of Jefferson City Art Club. And can you share kind of give us an idea how long you've been a member?
I think I joined in 2002. We moved here in 2001, and I wanted to jump right in right away because I had been active in the community where I lived previously, and I wanted to just start right away as soon as I could and find the art community and get involved as much as I could. And so I was able to do that. And actually, Leann Strange was the art club president at the time, and I somehow met up with her. I called her. I saw it in the newspaper or something, and she told me about the Jefferson City Art Club and then the adult art exhibit that was about to happen, and that I could enter that show if I wanted to. And so I started there.
So that's Leann Strange was the person that inspired you.
Yes, yes, she did. She was my first contact, actually, in Jefferson City. And I'm actually the second vice president this year in the Jefferson City Art Club, and I plan and coordinate all of the presentations, the presenters throughout the year at our art club meetings.
Well, you're also the webmaster for the Jefferson City Art Club website, and controller of the featured artist workup thereon. So when you go to Jefferson City Art Club website, you'll see some of Cheryl's work as far as website creations and stuff. Do you want to give that website?
Sure. It's www.jeffersoncityartclub-missouri.com.
All right, great. Now, on there you have the Featured Artist Program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The artists have 6 weeks to show their images of their artwork on the website, and they also get the opportunity to show their art and hang their art at the DMV in Jefferson City on, I believe that's 1617 South Ridge Drive.
Yes.
So if you ever get a chance to go in there, I mean, almost everyone in town has to go in there for some reason or other. There's usually some of our artwork and our artists hanging in there, so you can view that. And they also get to become a scheduled guest here on the JCTV Mid-Missouri Art News.
Super. Well, your artwork is so realistic and unique, as presented on your website and recently featured as on the website as a feature artist. We all seem to turn out pieces of work that become our favorites. Can you describe some of your favorites?
Well, hopefully you'll see some of these on the show, and I don't know which ones exactly they'll show, but a few of my favorite ones are, I painted the bur oak tree at McBain that's over 300 years old.
Yes.
And that was one of my favorite paintings. I've been there several times at different times of the day, and there's usually people around it, but I didn't include the people in it. But it's one of my favorite paintings because I really pushed the boundaries of color and light in that. When I was there, I just saw something else that was not right there. You know, I wanted it to be warm and really vibrate with color, and so I hope that I achieved that on that one. Another one of my favorite ones is Memories of a Golden Place. That was taken from photographs from Dogwood Canyon in southwest Missouri, just south of Branson. I've been there a few times, and that painting was one of those where I tried to capture the light, and I just felt like it was a really spiritual place, and just really loved it there. And that's probably what I consider to be my best painting so far ever, and I will not part with it. So.
Oh, wow. I know your paintings are awesome.
Thank
well,
you.
can you share with the viewers any sponsored events currently of the Jefferson City Art Club?
Sure. We have, right now, we have the Adult Fine Art exhibit is running at the Capital Arts Gallery on Missouri Boulevard, and it goes from April 6th to May 6th. The reception is on April 27th during the Art Around Town Gallery Crawl, and probably Leann will talk about that too. Yes. The 70th Annual High School Sketch Day will be there in May 3rd through the 7th. Right. And then later this year, we'll have the Jefferson City Art Club Invitational Professional Show there in the fall. I don't have the exact date for that yet, but you could check the website, either capitalarts.org or the Jefferson City Art Club website.
And we'll celebrate with the Fling November.
Yes, this Fling is November, I believe, 9th, I think, around
Friday.
That time. And that's at the Hawthorne Community Center on Amazonas. Usually from 7 to 9 or so, where the public's welcome to attend and come in and enjoy, you know, appetizers and drinks and view art and see the artists and
maybe
meet
some
artists.
Entertainment.
Yes, some
and
entertainment
that's free.
Usually.
That's free.
Yes, that is a free event, and anyone's welcome to come to that. So
super. Well, and you have 134 pieces now in the Adult Fine Arts exhibit at Capital Arts on Missouri Boulevard. And we speak of the Ruth Hogan, and I hope some of you did get to view that. That was 211 pieces. So it's been a pleasure to sit with you and really share the moment and give you a chance to share with our viewers. And we're having many now, so I want to thank you on behalf of Jefferson City Art Club and JCTV Mid-Missouri Art News. Thank you for sharing with us here on the Mid-Missouri Art News.
Can I just say one more thing about the
yes.
Capital Arts Gallery? We have several of our shows there during the year, so I feel like we've really worked on a great relationship with Capital Arts Gallery, and we work hand in hand and collaborate with, you know, our shows with their schedule and vice versa. So it's been a really great relationship that's built up, and we're really grateful to have the Capital Arts Gallery in town to be able to utilize that, because it's sometimes really hard to find good venues for art
That's
shows.
A beautiful venue.
Yes, it is.
And that's well said. I jump on the wagon there and also commend them. I've always been so impressed by that. The first time I showed there in 2009, I just couldn't believe it. So again, thank you, Cheryl, for being my guest.
It's been great. Appreciate it.
Look forward to seeing you in the art community.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, after the break, we meet Miss Leann Porello, who will surely take a look deeper into her commitment to the art world and the arts here in the Jefferson City, Missouri area. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone. But you're not alone. At iava.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. iava.org. We've got your back.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rick Jey, your host here on Mid-Missouri Art News. And if you will, join me in meeting artist Leann Porello of California, Missouri, who plays a big part in the art scene in the capital of Missouri, Jefferson City, Missouri area, at a venue called Capitol Arts. So welcome, Miss Porello.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I've been looking forward to this for a long
too.
time. Thank you. Well, Leann, if I may call you by your first name, 15 minutes is really not a lot to cover everything that we could talk about. So maybe in the future we can invite you back and talk more about your artwork and also what's happening at Capitol Arts. If you would, please tell us a little bit about you and those highlights of your life that best describe Leann Porello. I know you've got a great husband that's supportive, and so tell us a little bit about Leann, if you can.
Yeah, I would love to. I'm born and raised in Colorado Springs. I grew up there my whole life. Went to school in the same district from kindergarten to high school and into college. I attended Pikes Peak Community College and got my Associates of Art degree. So I've always really kind of had a niche for art, but started with literary arts. So it was more writing and had a love for that.
Oh, I see.
My whole family is in Colorado, so I was, very family oriented, spent a lot of time with them. Just had a really great upbringing in beautiful state, and I loved it there, and that's where I met my husband. He was in the Army, and he was just getting out, and so we met at Fort Carson, and Colorado has a big place in my heart. I moved, I've been here 5 years in Jefferson City. I live in California, Missouri, but work in Jefferson City. So Colorado will always have a big place in my heart, and that's kind of where a lot of my inspiration as an artist started, just kind of getting in and writing and doing paintings regarding Colorado themes and things out there.
I see. Well, you do an excellent job,
Thank
and
you.
you mean so much to this city,
Yes.
not only to the arts organizations, but also the city of Jefferson City. Well, you spoke of inspiration. Can you go back to remember the first, basically what was the most impressive inspiration that you did receive to get interested in
Yeah,
artwork?
and like I said, I always started with literary arts. And so I was a writer, I wrote poems and short stories, and one of my poems in the sophomore year of high school got published. So that was kind of a really fun, exciting time to be there, and it just gave a lot of validation that what I love to do, other people love to read. And so, I always wrote, and then I graduated high school. I was an 18-year-old, had my first apartment, and it was kind of a funny story. Being 18 on my own for the first time, I didn't have cable, I didn't have internet, I was poor, living paycheck to paycheck, and so I kind of decided, well, what do I do with my free time when I don't have all these electronics around me? So I ended up going out and buying an acrylic paint set, and that was really, at first it was just something to, kill time with, and then after I got my acrylic paint set, my friends just loved what I was producing and just, encouraged me to keep going, and ever since then I actually kind of set the writing aside and just started painting. And so that was really an inspiration of the support I got from my family and friends, because I just did it as a hobby, and they requested and commissioned pieces from me, and I said, wow, I could do this. And so that's kind of what started it. So it was my friends and family that inspired me to keep it going. Excellent.
Well, now we learned earlier from Miss Schweitzer that in the Adult Fine Arts exhibit. You're also represented in that,
Yes.
and I understand you was awarded for your art.
I was very excited. Actually, I entered the amateur position. It's with oil paintings and acrylic because I went from acrylic painting and learned how to oil paint when I moved to Jefferson City and never done it before. So I entered the Adult Fine Artist exhibition, and my acrylic in the amateur side won first place. And then I had a penguin oil painting that won first place in the amateur oils, as well as I won my first best of show. So it's been a really exciting week for me, and it was just really rewarding.
I've watched Leann in the last 5 years of Capital Arts, and so I was really excited to see that her artwork was recognized by a reputable judge.
Yes,
I was excited for
Thank
you,
you.
And I want to pass that on.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a very exciting time. Like you said, we always hoped to, ribbon and place, but it was beyond expectation that I would get best of show, and I was surprised, but I was very honored because it's the highest honor in the amateur, and next year I'll be moving to the professional category, so I'm excited.
Right up there with some of the others.
My teacher especially, Janice Bergen is my teacher that taught me to oil paint when I moved to Jefferson City, and so now that I'll be moving to professional, we'll be in the same category, so I'm excited to still continue to learn and grow from her, but then compete. So.
Well, some of your artwork is going to be presented here within the program as we're speaking, and I always like to ask some of your favorites. So we all have a favorite, so you may have a new favorite. So what's your new favorite?
Well, definitely one of my favorites is the one that just won the best of show. His name is called Playful Penguin, and it's an oil painting of a realistic penguin that's playing with bubbles. I really paint really whimsical and playful paintings. Sometimes I play with different colors, more like pop art. So that penguin is definitely one of my favorites. I also did one a couple of years ago called Imagine a Dream. It's a keyhole, a whimsical keyhole with a ballerina in it, and that was one of my favorites as well. So
mine too.
Yeah, like I said, the color, I just love whimsy. So I learned how to paint realism and the techniques. Once I learned the techniques, I took it and applied my own style to it.
Excellent. And you've come a long way. What's that old Bogart's, you come a long way, baby, or something like that?
Yeah.
And we also share, we don't want to get on the dog topics, but Leann and I both share the love of our dogs. So that kind of shows, in her art also.
Yeah, very much so. And maybe some dog hair in there too.
Maybe some dog hair, yes. Well, I look forward to being part of the Mid-Missouri Art News and Runge Nature Conservation's exhibit that I put together in hand with the Run Center, May and through June of 2018. It should be quite an interesting event for viewing. Do you have any comments on that?
I'm very excited. I've been working on some pieces for it, and I really love the theme. I just really excited to highlight Missouri conservation, and so I'm just really honored. This is my first time being a part of a show like this, especially being displayed at the Runge Center. And since I am so passionate about nature and animals, it was just a perfect fit. So. And
the theme is called To Nature's Art, and we've got artists from all around the states, different venues, from glass blowing to sculpture to oils to scarf painting, quilt art. So you've got to come to the Run Center in May and June and take a peek. Also, we have the Meet and Greet the Artists on May 19th. Between 10 and 2, so you can see the art and actually meet Leann. Hope you
I will
are
be there.
available.
Yep.
Super.
I'm excited. I always love to mingle with the other artists as well as meet community members. Like I said, sometimes we like to share those stories to get the community to have that personal connection with our paintings.
Exactly. Well, now I'd like to ask you a little bit about your position, the executive director of the Capital Arts Gallery of Jefferson, Missouri, which is a building within the city government of Jefferson City, Missouri. Before we run out of time, could you share with our viewers the mission statement, basically what your job description is? And I know you went and looked for a site or for a new statue or something.
Yeah, we're doing all kinds of things. So the mission of Capital Arts is to encourage, promote, and support all the arts in this community. And so we really embody literary arts, theater arts, and sculptures is a big one. We're doing a lot of public art. We're doing a Sculpture on the Move program where we actually rent a sculpture for 2 years, and after the 2 years we can either swap it out or purchase it. So it's a really kind of fun way to introduce the community into public art and just get some feedback and see how it is. So we're excited, and that sculpture is going to be May 6th installed. So, and it's at Riverside Park in Jefferson City.
Super. Well, now we have the scoop.
Yeah.
Because I tried to reach her on the cell phone recently. She says, well, I can't talk to you right now, Rick, but because I'm looking for a statue. I said, oh, that ought to be interesting.
Yeah, we went all over the city trying to find the perfect home for it.
Jefferson City is so blessed by having you in this position, and all the art organizations, especially Jefferson City Art Club, who has always enjoyed using that beautiful facility and venue. Well, Ms. Porello, did you have anything else you'd like to share?
You know, I'm just happy to be here, and like I said, you know, with my job being the executive director of Capital Arts, I'm here to support the artists in the community, and so my passion and inspiration comes from helping others and seeing what others produce. So I'm just honored to be a part of Capital Arts, and I look forward to the community seeing what else is to come. You know, more art in this community is the goal, so we're excited to bring it. And
they can stay tuned, basically, by visiting your website.
My website, yep, and which is www.capitalarts.org. And like I said, we put all our schedules, all kinds of upcoming events, exhibitions, and things we're doing in the community, so it's the best place to get all the information.
Yes, well, thank you. Well, Leann, on behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club, JCTV, Mid-Missouri Art News, which is attempting to bring together all art lovers and enthusiasts in Missouri and the surrounding states through this program. I want to thank you so much for contributing today to Mid-Missouri Art News, making it a learning and informational experience for everyone.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. I've always looked forward to, you know, talking with you and sharing as much as we can with the community.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, now next, featured guests here on Mid-Missouri Art News are artist Suzanne Luther of the Four Quarters Art House in Columbia, Missouri. You may have heard about that. If you haven't, you should tune in at that program. And also Lester Perkins of Jefferson City, Missouri. That taping is scheduled for May 16th. And Lester, if you've ever been to Mel's Diner in Jefferson City, Missouri, Lester is on display. His paintings are on display there all the time. So he has some really great work. Lester is getting up there in the years like some of us. So it's really inspirational. He'll be here. He's really excited to be part of this program and also of the upcoming Calls to Nature's Art there at the Run Center. So then also a spotlight on the arts. When we spotlight someone, I'll mention again that Austin Lambert, the naturalist at the Runge, he'll be with us on Spotlight on the Arts, telling you what does happen at the Runge and all his dedicated naturalists and volunteers and their programs. So he'll be sharing with us what's happening really at the Runge Conservation Nature Center in Jefferson City. So I want to thank JCTV producer Gloria and Lowe and director, assistant, and really a good handyman when it comes to editing these programs, coming up with some great ideas. That's Mr. Art Gerhard here at JCTV. And so I want to look for more Missouri Art News, Mid-Missouri Art News, right here on JCTV. And don't forget YouTube. I'll see you next time. Thanks for staying with us.